Hello again. We're going to go over some of the note-taking methods that are presented in this module in a different way. So let's get meta with it. The list method is first up, and what I've done is present the material about the list method in the list method format. Hence, we're going to be a little meta in our conversation today. So the list method as presented in using the list method. The list method is usually not the best choice. It is focused exclusively on capturing as much of what the instructor says as possible, not on processing the information. So you're literally just trying to write everything down verbatim. Most students have not learned effective study skills. Most students who have not learned effective study skills use this method. So in high school, for example, you may have defaulted to this method of note-taking because it's easy to think that this is what note-taking is all about, just trying to write everything that is said down. And even if you are skilled in some form of shorthand, you should probably also learn one of the other methods described here in this module because they are all better at helping you process and remember the material than the list method or shorthand. And shorthand isn't really taught very much these days, although it can be a helpful skill. You may want to take notes in class using the list method, but transcribe your notes to an outline or concept map method after class as part of your review process. So you may still want to, if you feel like you just this is your default method, using the list method to do your note taking, use it in combination with another method. So you can take your notes in the list method, transcribe them, use them into a different method like the outline method or concept mapping. Do that during your review process. You should do it as quickly after class as possible, remember, because you will immediately start to forget the material that's been presented. So if you're going to use the list method, it is recommended that right after class or soon after class, take your notes, transcribe them into a different format, and do that as your review. And that will help you to process the information. It is also important to review your notes as soon as possible after class and write a summary of the class in your own words. So basically what I just said, but in other words. Okay, the outline method. All right, so let's present the outline method using the outline method. The advantage of the outline method is that it allows you to prioritize the material. So this is our heading A. So, of course, I'm sure you've seen an outline before. Most syllabi are presented in outline format. Or if you've seen agendas at work, they're presented in outline format. Table of contents, basically an outline. So we've used our main headings here. And the first one is just stating that the advantage of the outline method is that it allows you to prioritize material. And then our next heading, B, key ideas are written to the left of the page. And underneath that, we have our first subheading. Subordinate ideas are then indented. And then we further have details underneath this first subheading. So we can continue. Not only are they indented, but under our next subheading, A, small letter A, details of the subordinate ideas can be indented further. So our main idea here is that key ideas are written to the left of the page. Underneath that, we have indented another subordinate idea, just stating that subordinate ideas are indented. This is part of the outline method. We further drill down and indicate that details for each subordinate idea can be further indented, and here is our last subheading. Further organize your ideas using a typical outlining numbering scheme. So you can start with Roman numerals, for example. That's pretty typical. I haven't used Roman numerals. I've used capital letters. But you can use Roman numerals for key ideas, then move to capital letters on the first subordinate level, then Arabic numbers for the next level, and then lowercase letters. So you can choose which format you want to use, and this is very easy to do using Microsoft Word as well. Our next heading is C, capital C. At first, you may have trouble identifying when the instructor moves from one idea to another. So we have some subordinate ideas underneath this. And this is pretty common. This takes practice and experience. So identifying when the instructor moves from one idea to another, it takes practice and experience with each instructor. So don't give up. Next, our next subheading. So these are all on the same level of importance. Use your syllabus to determine what key ideas the instructor plans to present. Absolutely. You can use your syllabus to find out, hey, this is what we're going to be talking about today or this week, and you can start to organize concepts into an outline and then fill in your notes as the lecture goes on. Lastly, your reading assignments before class can also give you guidance in identifying the key ideas. So you can use your syllabus to determine what your main topics will be. You can also use your reading assignments for prior to class to give you ideas about the main concepts or key ideas, and then organize them into your own outline, and then use that outline to fill in your notes. Next, subheading D, you can use a computer and basic word processing application like Microsoft Word in this method. On our two subheadings there, you can format your document by selecting the outline format from the Format Bullets menu. Then Word will automatically format your document for you. And you can use the increase or decrease indent buttons to navigate the level of importance you want to give each item. So there is a little button where you can increase the indent, like here, number 1, underneath heading D, this is indented. Or you may change your mind and think, oh, you've indented this, but you want it to be a main heading, and you can use the other button to decrease the level of indentation. You can also use the tab button and the backspace button. Heading E, after class, be sure to review your notes, then summarize the class in 1 or 2 short paragraphs using your own words. So, we've said it multiple times that it's best to review your notes immediately after class or directly after class or soon after class, as soon after your class as possible, because you will start to lose the information, and this will help you to commit the materials to memory. It will help you to process the material while it's still fresh in your mind. And you see here our subheading does indicate this as well, that this will increase your recall and help you prepare for the next class, especially if you are taking your notes and then paraphrasing your notes into a summary, because you're actively processing the material when you're doing that. Okay, concept map. Checking our time here. This is the concept map method presented using the concept map format. So basically, it's a very graphic method. So we have our main concept here, which is the topic itself, the concept map method of note-taking. And we have different branches coming off of this for our next key idea. So here we have the different qualities of this method.